All right, we've got Denise in Portland. How are you?
Good, how are you?
We're doing well.
Hi, Denise. What's up?
Well, I'm on a Facebook. It's called the Holy Bible page, and one of the atheists kind of challenged us to call in, so I did. And I am a Christian and make no bones about it.
Okay.
And what can we do for you?
I'm just called in to chat.
About anything in particular?
No, well, it's really disheartening how many of the atheists are former believers, and I realize that. But I don't think they realize what's going to happen to them in the end.
I think you're right.
I
don't think any of us know what's going to happen to us.
In a literal hell.
I'm sorry?
And where are they going to end up when they die?
I'll just be quiet.
Have they thought about it?
Well, you say you believe in a literal hell?
Yes, I do.
And you think that we atheists deserve to go there?
No.
We don't?
I don't
Then
want
how
to see
come?
anybody go.
Then how come you, ma'am?
Yeah,
Denise?
go ahead.
So if you believe there's a hell, and you believe the atheists are gonna go there, cause why? Your God's gonna send us there, right?
No, they send themselves there by rejecting Jesus as their Savior.
No. Then that's silly.
Yeah.
That's silly. I'm choosing right now.
Silly.
I don't want to go to hell. Okay. So now your God has the
choice.
option of either sending me or not.
Jesus has thrown you a life preserver. That's why he's called the Savior.
Ma'am?
You guys have been ridiculous enough to reject it.
Where did hell come from?
It's in the Bible. He spoke about it many times. I believe in it. If you don't...
No. Denise, I'm just asking a question. Did God create hell?
Well, actually, God originally created hell for Satan and his demons. We weren't supposed to go there.
Sure. So what determination was there in your religion? Why did God decide to start sending people to hell? I mean, you don't think...
Again, he doesn't send them to hell. You guys send yourselves.
Okay.
We don't. That's nonsense.
Yeah,
we have the choice.
do.
We have the choice. We choose not to go. Now, your God is back. The ball's back in his court. If he wants to send us, he can. Is he gonna?
You send yourselves.
No, we don't.
How
That's
many times
ridiculous.
You send yourselves.
No, that's
doesn't
ridiculous,
send
ma'am.
Here's the thing, Denise. It doesn't matter how many times you keep repeating this. I'm trying
Well,
to...
you keep repeating your stuff.
Let me try something. I tried something else, which was, did God create hell? If so, then he's ultimately responsible for it, correct? Does he not make the rules? Do things not happen?
As I said, that was
Denise, do things not happen according to your God's will? Does he not already know?
He's everybody's God. You keep referring to him as my God. He's everyone's God.
No,
He's not my God. I don't even believe he exists. But in any case, I don't care whether... In any case, I don't care how you pretend to label. I'm trying to get to the source of the problem here, and it's this, because you were saying Jesus threw you a life preserver. As far as I'm concerned, within the bounds of your theology, Jesus kicked me overboard, because you believe.
He didn't kick you overboard.
Sure he did.
May I?
Sure he did. Because hang on.
Okay.
Did your God create hell? Yes or no?
She said yes.
Yes.
Okay. Does your God create the rules of the universe, including the criteria by which souls are judged?
Yes.
Does anything happen that doesn't go according to your God's will?
No.
Then your God is ultimately responsible for everything, including the people who he sends to hell.
That is so messed up. I mean...
Yeah, that logic stuff, it's a real pain in the ass, isn't it?
It is messed up, ma'am.
Him, and when you reject him, that's the dumbest thing you can possibly do. That's why he's called the Savior.
And I have a question.
Go ahead.
What are we being saved? What are we being saved from exactly?
You're being saved from eternal damnation.
But
hell. Hell. Have you ever been a Christian?
Yes, I was.
For how many years?
Oh, till I was about 21, 22.
What happened?
We understand. Go ahead.
Yeah, I thought about whether there was any reason to believe any of that stuff, and it scared me, because I had been raised to believe in a kind and loving God, but to fear this kind and loving God. And so every time it occurred to me to question that my fear got in the way, eventually I said to myself, if God is really kind and loving, he's not going to mind me using my brain, the brain that he gave me, to think clearly, carefully, and rationally about the stuff that I've been taught and to make my own decision. And the moment that I realized a kind and loving God was not to be feared when I'm considering, rethinking my beliefs, that gave me the freedom to think clearly about my beliefs. And within a minute, I realized this is all nonsense. I'm an atheist.
And I'll actually go one step further here. And even if I were to concede your what I consider to be a ridiculous framing that God doesn't send people to hell, people to send themselves to hell, even if I were to accept that, I won't even necessarily go to the mafia boss analogy that I think is completely valid. My point of view is this. You have a being, according to your theology, that can possibly prevent people from having to suffer eternally. And he has, instead of being good and just and caring and actually doing that, is offering a kind of bribe. And the bribe is, you need to believe without evidence, and you need to worship and adhere and follow my commands. That's not love. That is not love. That is not an exercise of love. That is not a
save you. I mean, he went through hell.
He didn't die. Do you not?
Wait. The one that paid the price.
Denise.
People reject
Denise.
him,
Denise.
That's their decision.
Right. Then why the fuck did you call?
Excuse me?
I just.
You can't be a lot more civil to someone that calls in without using filthy language?
Filthy language? Well, hang on. First of all, you called to tell us.
This conversation is over. God bless you. I hope all of you see the light. He is the only way. Goodbye.
Are you done? Oh.
Yeah, she's hanging up now.
I used a word that Denise hurt her feelings. Hey, it doesn't surprise me, and while we'll have to put a little disclaimer on this particular issue, it doesn't surprise me that somebody who is so muddled in their thinking and is so afraid of the irrational would give magic powers to words. Guess what? It's 4 letters, it's phonemes, they don't have any magical powers, it's a way of expressing an exclamation mark. You called. And then when things got too heated, you tried to do this, well, it's all up to you guys, and if you reject him, that's your responsibility, etc., which was your way of giving up. All you wanted to do was call in and state your opinion and move on. So when I ask, why the fuck did you call, I wasn't cursing you out. I was exclaiming that this is absurd for you to call in and do this. To call in and pretend like you're going to defend your beliefs, and then when they're challenged directly to a point that you can't defend them, you cry that your feelings got hurt because somebody used a word that was scary. It's no wonder that you are still stuck in this mindset of being afraid of fantasy if one little word sends you screaming off of, oh, the poor atheists, they're beating up on me and they're saying offensive things.
Can we spend a little time on this whole thing of we send ourselves to hell?
Yeah. Please.
That is okay. I'm holding a gun to your head, telling you to give me $100. Don't make me shoot you.
Yeah.
That's what it is. That's what that arrangement is. No, that is, if Matt refuses to give me $100, he did not commit suicide.
It's why I've used the mafia boss analogy before, because it's why I asked if you thought your God created hell. Because the mafia boss creates the scenario where, A, we can protect you from this stuff, but you got to be making payments. And when somebody comes along to break my thumbs for not making payments, that wasn't my choice. I mean, you're saying that my choice is to make those payments or get my ass kicked. And in your theology, my choice is to accept something that my brain can't possibly accept because it's irrational and without evidence, and then go the step further of becoming worshipful and adherent to this fantasy. Well, I won't do it. Because I see what happens when people do become worshipful and adherent to that fantasy. Even if I could convince myself to go ahead and accept the delusion, it is harmful and it is immoral. And your theology is immoral. And what you're saying about there being a literal hell and that God gets to wash his hands of it, it's all completely immoral. You have lost your own sense of dignity, self-respect, humanity, and morality.
I loved how you